So the business of sharing is split down into various chapters that really address the different stakeholders in the sharing economy. So for example, there's a chapter called consumers, there's a chapter called investors, there's a chapter called governments, and there's a chapter called corporates, which is about how the corporate world engage with it. And so the idea behind the business of sharing is really that anyone from whatever their background can just dive straight into the chapter, and that will really speak to them. And the fascinating thing about the sharing economy is that it does speak to so many different people. It really is a very, very broad church. There's a chapter called Founders in the business of sharing, where I interview 10 founders of the 10 most prominent sharing economy companies. So it's people who founded businesses like Zipcar and Airbnb, and they each impart a different lesson. So for example, the Airbnb lesson is build a community. And so someone can read that chapter and they can really just pick up these 10 key lessons from 10 key entrepreneurs in the space. It's not your average business book in as much as it's really a fly on the wall book. I'm running one of the largest companies in the space, and I've been able to get access to some incredible people as a result. So I take the reader on this fantastic journey. At one point, I'm in Sequoia Capital, Silicon Valley's most prestigious venture capital firm. The next chapter, I'm in 10 Downing Street, talking to David Cameron's chief advisor. So an editor at Macmillan actually made a booking with JustPark during the Olympics. And she was a little bit nervous about this because this means parking at someone else's house. But she went down, she parked there, and she had a wonderfully unexpected experience where she actually got to know the family of the people whose house it was where she was parked. And so she came back to London and she asked me to write this book. And although I was incredibly busy at the time, I thought this is just the most exciting thing ever, because this is really the unbusiness business book. This is a business book about the millions of people that are now using these new models to get value in their own lives. So for a couple of years now, the media has been talking about the sharing economy, and I think now we are reaching this period of mass adoption. We're moving up that adoption cycle. It's no longer an early adopter thing to do to stay in an Airbnb. It's no longer an early adopter thing to do to get a Lyft in US or get an Uber in Europe. These are becoming widespread forms of activity, and I think the reason for that is because fundamentally these are at their root ways of making and saving money. And what is more appealing to the masses than that?